Hey there! Today I want to show you how to do a toggle that is combined with an animation to keep your more in VRChat open, because people constantly asking me like, oh, this avatar has such a detailed more and I can't really keep it open in VRChat. Well, this case we try to tackle today in half an hour. I usually never plan these videos, so it seems a bit chaotic, but we'll see. This here is the VRChat Creator Companion, and this is definitely something needed. You see your projects here, and you can create a new project. We want an avatar, and we use the newest Unity 2022 avatar project, and then we just call it Dante, because I got a random new avatar because I am convinced that it works with every avatar base you have, and we just grab one that is nice and new, and now we create the project. It is creating a folder then where you ask it for that. You definitely also should have downloaded the Unity hub and installed the version that is needed for your avatar project. It is usually the Unity version 2022.3.22f1. This is definitely the very much basic stuff. So now we have in our project package resolver, VRChat SDK. It is kind of the connection between Unity and VRChat base and avatars. Yeah, there is so much stuff. I would say VRChat Fury is an add-on. Everyone needs that, definitely, because the nearly every current base uses some stuff that uses this add-on to bring it easier on your avatar. I just go through the stuff I have here. Animators, visual, character optimizer. It is not something you do in the very beginning. Wholesome SPS configurator. I totally don't know what this is. Yeah, but we will just open the project. And then you will see the Unity splash screen in a second, and then Unity will start for the first time exactly this new project. And here we have the Dante folder unpacked, and usually you get something like that. Something with these .unity package files. And then let's see, we have here quest, a fur shader, and we have 2x PC face tracking and not face tracking. I use not face tracking because I don't have face tracking. So we wait for Unity to open in the background, and a Unity package you can see is like a zip file, but can just be read by Unity. So when Unity is opened, we just double click the Unity package we want to open. Something like that you will download when you buy a new avatar base on Gumroad. Then you just see that you get the right the right file. I usually keep everything always PC because it looks more fancy. You know, Quest is a different build. It is the Android build, and it comes with certain limitations. And of course, there are many people that say, but you can make everything performant, and but I say that I don't spend $2,000 in a PC and $2,000 in VR stuff to then make everything super performant. It is like you buy yourself a RTX 4080 or 4090, and then you play the newest game and go from ultra settings down to low because it is more performant. It's just meh. So now we just wait for Unity to start the first time. Oh, yeah, I was just about to say. Okay, now here we see Unity. This here in the middle is the window that shows us all the things, the scene editor, and it shows you, it shows you the scene, yeah? In the left, the hierarchy is everything that is visible in the scene right now. And this is right now the main camera, what is here with the little camera gizmo, and the directional light. This is the light source here. Both things doesn't matter for VRChat later. The character is the thing that will be important. On the right, you see kind of always the properties of everything you have selected to the left. And in the inspector, the tab that is open here is the VRChat SDK, and there you just log in to upload your avatar later. So for now, the inspector is more important. For example, the camera has properties, the light has properties like the color and the strength and stuff, but you don't need all that. We just open this here, the Unity package, double click, and then we go back into Unity. It is loading, loading, loading. You know, whenever you do stuff in Unity or in Substance Painter or in Blender, be patient. As a game developer, you very early learn that the time of loading screens and waiting for stuff will never, never, ever end. I mean, usually the loading screen times of games are shorter and shorter and shorter because all the tricks the game designers come along with. I mean, not every game does it, but in many games you don't even have a loading screen anymore if it's not a super fancy, modern, open world, big ass thingy. And but as some, yeah, you know, this is the import Unity package exactly, and there you see what's new here, kind of everything because the project is empty so far, and you click on import, and then everything should be in the project that is important. Down here, the project area is kind of your, these are your files. Your files is not what will be uploaded. If you do a world or an avatar, the stuff that is uploaded is the thing here in the hierarchy. This project thing here is just, yeah, it's just like you would plug in a USB stick and then you work from that USB stick. The second thing here, the console, is, yeah, this is nothing for beginners. In the console, you can see when you have errors and stuff that doesn't work correct. And then you can see, okay, what is it that is not working correct? When you have exclamation marks with those warning triangles, those yellow ones, you can kind of ignore it. But if there is a round red warning, this is usually an error. VRChat doesn't allow you to upload it when it's still there. And animation, yeah, like the name says, you can make animations there. And even for toggles, animations are important because you want to animate the toggle. The toggle is kind of just like a menu that activates an animation on your avatar. And the animation on your avatar is then the thing that can change something or turn something on or off. All these things are kind of simple, but it is complex. It is not complicated, it's just complex. So it's not difficult to learn it, but it's like a dozen steps, you know? And if you wonder why this takes so long, those files here are gigabytes, full of files that, yeah, are now about to implement it here in this project. While it does that, I can continue to try to explain a few things. Scene, yeah, game is there. You can kind of for worlds, for example, with a little add-on, you can test the world without uploading within Unity to see if stuff is working. But be careful, sometimes stuff is working in Unity but not in VR, or not in Unity but in VR. For example, many YouTube players are not working in the Unity preview, but it is working later in VRChat because it's still different what is displayed in VRChat later than here built in Unity. Yeah, the asset store and the package manager. One of the two is not working anymore. I don't know, but it's like you can buy stuff there and implement it. Project settings is what it says. The animator is kind of a library for your animations. And background task is just for your interest. When, for example, for maps, baking light into the scene, you see it in the background tasks. So you're not like, what is the thing doing? So now we have here in the project folder, because he's done, Wolf and Gogo. Gogo means Gogo Loco, I think. That is something that can change your postures and stuff. Here, this with those three arrows kinder that forms a cube is usually a scene. And a scene is everything that is here in the hierarchy active right now. You see the symbol also here up there called untitled right now because we have an empty scene. We can just double click this scene now and load this. I mean, we have a camera here, introduction light. It's a standard scene. So it's like the Blender cube. We can just ignore that. And now the bean is opening this scene down here. Because usually avatar creators, when you buy a base on Gumroad or so, they usually prepare their avatar to be already set up in a scene. And this is what you get then. With the right mouse button holding, I can kinda rotate around, and with WASD, like in a game, I fly around to change the view. So, good rank, casual version, tech version, dark version. So we have different avatars here. And can see what do we want. We get closer. Oha, tech version. Aw! It's, what are they called? By Boston Dynamics, Spot. I cuddled one of those robots at an expo 2024. With a little head on it. Okay, so here's the tech version. I don't need so much stuff on the avatar, so we don't use it with this doggy right now. What is dark version? Okay, it's edgy. It's definitely edgy. And do you have a casual version that... Okay. Yeah. And good rank? Oh, I like the top. This is a good rank? I can't believe. When we go into the VRChat SDK, let me just copy my code totally secretly. So you put in your name, you put in your code if you have, and you should use two-factor authenticator. Then you will get every few seconds a new code on your authenticator device. I will just put it right in. No, you can't use this code because everyone get different codes at any time. So, and then the active avatar that is clicked here in the hierarchy is about to be uploaded. So, this is a good rank, and we are instantly very poor. That looks like, oh no, why? But yeah, it's just VRChat usually is built around anime-based avatars with very simple flat faces and kind of textures for different expressions. And furry avatars are usually very high detail with everything. So we are always very poor. Yeah, I know, there are not very poor avatars. But do we want to look fancy or do we want to look fancy? We're not going to a discotheque, doing a rave party where we should be at least anything but very poor, because very poor is the worst, and very poor can be. I mean, this is very poor, and if it would have 10 times the detail, would still be very poor. So you don't ever know how bad it is. I would say we use good rank just because this looks like a clerk. What do? We can just mark the others, and we just go back into the inspector and click here on this package. Boom! Now it's deactivated. This was good. Okay, we are learning. Now we go here, and this is the version. This is the version we want to alter. Though we don't have anything here, the blueprint ID in the pipeline manager is kind of our own ID. When it is empty, it will be generated on upload, and then you have a new character with it. So this boyo needs to have a toggle for keeping them all open. How do we achieve that? So at first, we just sneak in here. I would say we are calm, a little bit shy. We can just the eye movements, yeah, just little tweaks we see here and there. So let's open the whole thingy. So we have parameters here. So how many do we have? Oh, we are still nearly the half. Many things we can. These are all the parameters about this is on, this is off, this is so much. That controls your animations on the avatar, kinda. So when you want to have a toggle that opens your more, we need to at first have a menu option to toggle that, you know, so that there are two things: the toggle that controls to do that, and then the animation that really does it. So at first, we just click the little plus down here, and then we have a per default a float that is named. It is kind of copied the thing, the last thing. So we just call this more open, and it is very important that we know how the parameter is named, because we need to use the exact same name everywhere. So I just write down right now in real life more open on a little sheet of paper. So float is a number with a decimal. Int has no decimal, and bool is like a switch on the wall. It is on or it is off, and it is right now off, and it should be off because you don't want to walk around with an open more. Also, that you see saved and synced. I would turn off saved, because if you have your more open and then you log off and back on, it's still open when it saves this parameter, but it shouldn't, because you start with a closed more, of course, when you go into VR. Let's click back on the base, and then we scroll back down. Here we had the parameters that we just set up, and then the menu itself. We open the menu. So I don't know anything about this avatar. So let's see. Body options, hue, extras, Gogo Loco. Gogo Loco is usually for non-full body tracking users. Top and bottom means maybe here the clothing glow band, a known point for those. Okay, I would say it is a body option. So body options here is another sub menu that is here, the G body. Then we double click here, and then we are in here. So we have cheek fluff, this I guess, chin fluff, okay? And the fangs that are not visible right now. So we have a space here, because you can't have more than 8 points in here. So we click plus, and then we have a new control here. That will be in your menu, there. Then we name it more toggle. And here we can click and use another symbol. Everything that comes. Okay, how can we show... oh, so many stuff. This is... you don't need it, you know, you don't need it, but you can. I mean, we can make a little flame there. I don't know. And it should definitely be a toggle and not a button. A button will be just active while you keep it clicked. A toggle will snap into a state, you know? A toggle is like a switch on the wall. It can have two states, but the button is kind of like a button you press down, but it doesn't snap. It would instantly come back up when you, you know? This is a common thing to know. Always use toggle. And then here we can just use the more open we just made. And then this is it. So you have now a menu point that toggles this. And where will it send this? Well, we can go down. There, like I said, we need an animation for that. And the animation will be on your FX. So your effects, kinda. We click here once. Then we find it here in the project settings. This is it. Okay. Then I go up, and then the animator controller is right now none. So I drag and drop it here so that whenever this here is selected, I can go in the animator and see everything. Otherwise, I wouldn't see everything. Why? Yeah, because there are more than just these FX, you know? You have also your action layers. You have base layers. All these layers control how you're walking, how you're standing, how your pose change when this, when that, blah, blah. but usually you just change the FX. So I drag and drop the FX here into the controller, what is the main thing of the animator, and then we can change the stuff here. So the parameters, you see you have parameters here too. So we just click here and we add a bool and call it exactly the same, more open, enter, and then we scroll down, we have more open. Now the animator can the menu will grab what we do and moves it over here into the animator. And now what do we do with it? We go in the layers and create a new layer and call it more toggle. And also scrolling down. And then one thing many people forget, but then it's not working. Click on the little cogwheel here and push the weight to 1. Then it's activated. Before it is not. And then you see this here. Entry is what does it do when on start when the avatar is active, and then we right click create state empty, and then we have this here. So it's automatically doing this. And what should it do automatically? Nothing. Because when you start, when you go into your avatar, nothing should happen with this toggle. Your more should not be open or closed per default. It should be on toggle. Do anything. So but we need one of these things, you know. This is an orange state, and this is the default. That is what would happen per default, and the first thing created will always be your default. We can right click state empty, and this is gray, and this is just not default. The entry always go in the default. We can right click set as default, then this is the default, and right click set as default, but this is just disposable. The any state is for us important, not on entry, but on whatever. Whenever you say I need it now and not on entry, then it should happen. So we right click, make a decision, transition into this new state, and we click on this arrow here and add a new condition with the plus, and we open this menu, go down to more open, and when this is true, then we go here. So we can call it more is open. The more closed is so or so the default, as we can see here in the scene. So we don't need to declare that. So we can just right click, make a transition to exit, so back to the default. When new condition, the more open is false now. So you clicked it again, the toggle. And what happens is right now, none. So at this point, nothing has happened. So I go back to the assets and I make right click, create folder, and I name it own additions and open it. And here I go for right click, create, and then animation and name it more open. And then I click here again and I drag and drop it in here so that this is the thing that should happen. But we haven't declared anything that happens, yeah? That we will do now. You see, it is nothing here is complicated. It's just complex. You have to think about a million things, but therefore you have me. We go here now in animation, yeah, and then we open it and we search for more open here, and we see nothing in the timeline. We don't need anything over time, you know, because everything animation-wise, if you don't change it, is kind of transitioned with a quarter second. So you have your transition already, because animations are blended. If you don't change it, it is always a quarter second in Unity, transitions from one into the other. So you just need a state and not something that is over time. So we can just leave it here at 0. So it will just be one thing and not different things. So we click here on this here, the little record button, and then we record the change we want to have. Don't worry, and right click mouse button, go down, because usually it is kind of when you record, you automatically go in preview mode, and then usually you go in this bicycle pose here. So, and this is you kind of fall down on 0, 0, 0 with your body middle. But yeah, so we want this more open. So we can do that in so many different ways. Let's just go on the body here. This is the mesh. It is the overlaying something like, imagine you would have like a fursuit. You know, the fabric of your fursuit would be that. The textures are on it, you know, multiple textures on top with different informations for all the like color, roughness, emissions, this, that is combined to materials, and materials are always kind of painted on different areas. For example, I would guess that the body has different materials than the paw pads or something like that. So you can have different effects on these things. Or the eyes, for example. And all that is like, it's called mesh. So, and we can look here in the blend shapes. Blend shapes are called shape keys in Blender, and this is kind of like changing your mesh, changing the geometry, the surface of your mesh. And there we can scroll. What has the author done? Ah, jaw open. Look, there are blend shapes that already does what we need without tweaking any bones or something like that. So, mouth closed, jaw open. We just click this. Open. So, now we can see it. And this is kind of everything we want, isn't it? It's everything we need. You can look, there is much stuff, but we don't need anything else, I guess. If you wonder why Japanese stuff in here, yeah, because of the MMD worlds where people dance and have party, and the MMD worlds usually derive blend shapes that are named after symbols from Japan because of the music videos. They are just made up like that, and so this character can move the mouth on an MMD worlds kinda. Yeah, fine. These are if I look at this and I think about the Rexoium has like 10 times more blend shapes, super not performant, because you can kind of change the direction of every single tooth kinder. But yeah, this is everything. We just click here, so no, we end this and this. So we see now we have one track here, and this track says this blend shape to 100, that is usually at 0. So everything that needs to be done with this animation is done now. So we have set up the animation. We have the animation in the animator. We have a parameter set up for that. And the menu also knows. And this should just be it. So when everything worked, then I will... Oh! The overall performance is good here. What? How? This is interesting. Okay, the tech one was maybe not good. Ha! Funny. Interesting. Why am I so flabbergasted? Because I'm not used. Whenever I buy a base, it starts usually at least poor, if not very poor, or it is instantly very poor if I just add one thing. But to see an avatar that is indeed good ranked and looks nice, I'm just flabbergasted. Wow. Don't worry, all these little gizmos here, you usually don't see. It's just helping you know. The green things are colliders, the white things here are physics. The blue thing here it receives kinda. If your finger is there, then it makes a boop animation. This little cones here are ranges for the physics and stuff like that. Here you see your bones of the feet of the hand. Yeah, I would just name it Kitsudante because I always name it like that. I click on capture from scene, fill the background, but no, the background is kind of nice. It's coming with a skybox that is kind of pretty, so I just let it like that. I don't know if I need the boards. Where I deactivate because I don't need the good rank in the background. And then I would say capture. There is nothing sexual or anything, and the description is trying to upload more toggle, yeah, whatever. And then we see that nothing is here to do. Textures with box micmap filtering. blur distant text should switch to Kaiser. Yeah, you could. You don't need. I would leave it like it is right now. Then you say on yes, I'm a good boy, and then you click on build and publish, and then when you go in VRChat, and in this moment I just hit 30 minutes. Wow. It was just said like that in the beginning of the video, but OBS says to me it is right now 30 minutes. And I thought, let's try this in half an hour. Go on your knees and praise me right now. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could have been quicker, but for me it's important with such a base video here that I show you all the very basic thingies. So probably you not just copy what I do, but you understand what I have done, I hope. Yeah, I'm open for comments if you want. And if everything worked, I will just show you an example in VRChat right now. Otherwise, we will see us again, because it is totally normal that things are not working the first try. It can definitely be that something is broken, and then you have to go back and look what is broken. Yes. And because even such a small thing, like one little toggle, can take half an hour of your time, that is the reason why artists want your money. Because it's hideous and tedious, and people don't wonder, but they do, and so, yeah. See ya! Hi there. So the avatar upload was functioning. It's definitely a pretty avatar. When I go in my menu, expressions, it is full of stuff. Body. I use something with body. Body options. More toggle. Working. It is exaggerated when I talk, because it adds the talking to the jaw open. That can be tweaked. It can be tweaked. To, for example, make just 80% and not just 100% on the animation, so that there is nothing clipping through. But you see, it's just easy like that. And deactivate. Yeah.